right, it looks like we are live. Finally, back again. Let me know if you guys are watching on live, if you can hear me. I had to reset up everything, so I don't even know if this is going well or not. So let me know if you guys can hear me if you're watching live. I am so happy to be back. Sorry for the few minutes of being late, but like I said, I had to set everything back up. I know I have been missing in action for a very long time, but I am very happy to be back. So, today we are going to get into a little bit about what has been going on with me. Where the heck have I been? And then we're going to go ahead and jump into the case that we have for today. So, for those of you who do not know me, I am Boss Attorney Bri, and here on YouTube, I cover celebrity cases, trademark cases, copyright cases, and then in my day-to-day life in my law firm, I cover family law cases, trademark cases, and other business type cases. Today, we are going to be talking a little bit in the entertainment realm. So we like the celebrity cases, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. But for those of you that care, before we hop into that, I'm just going to let you know kind of what has been going on with me and why I have been missing in action for about a month now. Some of you may know because I posted very sporadically on Twitter a little bit of what has been going on with me. And that was simply that I was setting up a physical office to do my law firm from. Some of you may not know. Some of you may know I was working from home as a virtual attorney and all of the things. But then my office started to get like really crowded and I started needing extra help and I didn't want people in my home. So I've been working on hiring a paralegal and setting up my physical office. It is not fully set up yet, but it is functional. I have phones, I have computers, I have desks, chairs, all the cool things. So I'm very excited about that. And I've had to, try to get a paralegal. Some didn't work out. I'm working with one that is working out. So hopefully that continues to grow and I will be able to continue to grow my law firm. So all of those things, hiring, setting up, spending money, going crazy, trying to get the law firm under wraps. So that is what has been going on with me. That's just a short little synopsis of it. I am going to try my darn best to be consistent. I know the beginning of the year is this weekend, and to start streaming again on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We have a little bit later of a start time, so I hope you guys are okay with that because I really do love streaming. I just have to find the time to properly stream. And it is giving me a sign that my Wi-Fi is a little off. So I hope you guys are not getting too much of a bad connection. It has been raining like crazy in California. How is your weather going? I know in Seattle there's some crazy stuff going on, like ice, rain, and all of the things. So let me know how your guys' weather is, where you're watching from. If you guys have sun still, because we definitely don't. It's definitely raining nonstop here. All right, let's jump into the comments. I really missed doing this. Like, I had to reset up my whole setup because I just took it apart and was just doing all this other stuff. And so I had to put my camera back together, microphone back together. I'm missing one of my screens. I usually have two monitors, but one of them is at the office. So we are working on one screen. So I hope it does not go too bad today. It looks like it's working, but I hope that it stays working. Okay, let's go. We have Kelly C. Hello, welcome to the live stream. Thank you guys all really for joining me again. I know it's been a while, but you guys made sure to show up today, and I'm so happy about that. We have House Hippo saying, hi, everything is good. Good. Nice to hear. That Sarah says loud and clear. Perfect. Nice. One thing that I did forget to do this stream, I got to get back in the swing of things, is to turn on the closed captioning. So I'm sorry for the people that are hearing impaired that need the closed captioning for whatever other reason. I forgot to turn that on, and I don't think that I can turn it on while I'm streaming, but we will get that back under control. Kinlan, hello. Welcome back to the live stream, saying nice to seeing you again. Yes, it's nice to be back. Nice to be back for sure. Deacon Fatal says, hi, Boss Attorney Bri in chat. Hope holiday is going well. Yes, the holidays have been fantabulous. Um, I spent some time with my parents and then also with the fiance. We got some nice gifts and all the things. Oh, that's another thing that has been going on. I have also been out of town consistently since I've been missing in action. It was my fiance's birthday and then it was also my birthday. So we went on a cruise to Mexico for 5 days, no signal, all of the good things. And then we went to Lake Tahoe and it was snowing and I went snowboarding for the first time. So maybe I need to post some pictures of that because I was very bundled up. Let me know if you guys have been snowboarding before because I did not think it was going to be as hard as it was. Like, in my head, I'm a pretty athletic person. And I was like, oh, I might fall a couple times, but I'll get used to it and I'll be super, super good at snowboarding. And then I got up there and I sat there for like a good 15 minutes before I could actually stand up. And then I just spent about an hour and a half falling down a mountain because I didn't know how to turn. I didn't know how to stop. Other people were falling. They didn't know how to stop. So in order to stop, I had to fall so I wouldn't run over other people because I didn't know how to turn. So let me know if you guys know how to snowboard. And if you do, where I could find some good lessons. I probably should have booked lessons, but I didn't. I don't know if I would ever snowboard again. I think I would be okay with just sledding or tubing down the mountain because that falling, oh man, that was not, it was a good time, but it was not a good time. Okay, Kinlan says, congratulations. Yes, thank you. That is what I've been working on. Deacon Fado also says, congrats. Thank you. Thank you. House Hippo says, welcome back and congrats. Thank you. Yes, I have not just been missing in action for no reason, guys. I promise. I love this YouTube live streaming stuff. I just had life happening to me back to back to back. Okay, we have Kinlan saying, Deacon Fado, hope you had a wonderful holiday. Yes, I hope you all had good holidays. Feel free to drop in the chat if you want me to read how your holiday was. Feel free to drop in the chat your experience with snowboarding and even your experience on cruises. Because that was also fun, but I also had a lot of motion sickness. A lot of motion sickness. That part wasn't fun, but I did have the patches, so I was able to kind of cope with it. But I don't know why I don't know why I get seasick because I don't get motion sickness from anything else other than playing video games. Yeah, video games make me dizzy too. Deacon Fatal says, if I can be here, I can. But if not, that means I'm studying. Okay, yes. What are you studying for? That is always fun. Deacon Fatal was not fun, but it's necessary, right? It might be fun for some people to study. Deacon Fatal says to Kinlan, to you as well. I cooked for my family. I'm not doing that again, but they love the food. Oh my gosh, I said the same thing. Deacon Fatal. I said the same thing after my fiance and I threw an engagement party and we spent so much money on food and we spent so much time and effort setting up. And I was like, I don't have to ever throw a party again. I think I just want to show up and not to be the person in charge of cooking and getting everything together, decorations, all of the things. So I feel you on that, Deacon Fatal. That Sarah says, girl, I'm down the road from you and this NorCal storm series is a mess. Isn't it? Isn't it? I have not been, the good thing is that I have not been driving because my office just happens to be like right down the street from Alpha's work. So he drops me off in the morning. So I haven't had to drive. And I know people drive crazy in the rain. So yeah, I don't know if I want it to be warm though, because I kind of like winter weather, but rain is not for me. Rain is not for me. Kelly C says, no, it looks great. We had negative 20 degrees. Oh my gosh, last week, and it will be 50 degrees tomorrow. Oh wow. I don't think it's too cold here, but it is very rainy. Biographer says, glad to see you back, Bri. Thank you. I'm glad to be back. Different setup. I'm trying to get focused on where the camera is. Kinlan says, Deacon Fatal, I understand that 100%. Yes, like I said, I don't ever have to throw a party again. And so I hope the Wi-Fi is not doing too bad for you guys again because it's breaking down over here on my screen. I don't know if it's affecting the visibility on your end, but I thought I had the Ethernet plugged up, but maybe I don't. Maybe I need to fix my setup still. Deacon Fatal says in Alabama, and we have phenomenal weather because our weather was 30 degrees, and today is it is 70 degrees. That has to be so uncomfortable. And when the weather changes like that, I get sick very easy. So I am not envious of that weather. Deacon Fatal says, I cooked for my parents and they love my collard greens and oxtail. Oh my gosh, that sounds so good. I'm gonna have to come down to Alabama and get some food. That sounds so good. Kinlan says that's crazy how your weather is in Alabama gets. Yeah, that's some crazy weather for sure. House Hippo says snowboarding is harder to learn than skiing, but there's a moment where it just clicks and all comes together. I was able to stand up on the board. I just couldn't turn it and I just couldn't stop. And in addition to that, I was hung over from the night before because the actual night before was my birthday. So we got pretty lit and then we decided to go snowboarding, and then the elevation and the hangover, it wasn't the best position to be in. But it was fun. Will I do it again? I don't know. Alva said he would. I don't know if I would. And he said that skiing would be easier too, but I don't know. In my head, I just imagined the skis constantly crossing and me hurting myself pretty badly, which I hurt myself on the snowboard too. But I don't know. Skis just scared me a lot more. Deacon Fatal says it's a hot mess. That Sarah says the first time snowboarding is always rough if you don't surf, skateboard, or wakeboard, and no matter what, your ass will be frozen and sore the next day. Yeah. Yeah. And I was like, do I really need the helmet? Do I really need the helmet? The guy's like, yeah. And I hit my head more than once. I was like, how am I falling backwards? It was ridiculous. But no, I don't surf, I don't wakeboard, I don't do any of those things. Oh no. What happened there? It's my camera went out. Let's see if I could fix that. And it's still saying my Wi-Fi is down, but I don't know why it's doing that. But yeah, I skateboarded a little bit when I was a kid, but I wasn't good at it or anything. But for whatever reason, I thought because I had balance and all of the things, I would be able to do it. But no. Kelly C says, I'm a skier. Oh, awesome. Snowboarding looks tough to start. Yeah, it was tough. I don't know why I thought I did not need lessons. Sarah says it gets easier. I swear. I don't know if I'll go back. I don't know. Deacon Fatal said, hated to hear that happened in response in Buffalo. Oh, yeah, that is very sad what's going on with people are getting stuck in their cars and not surviving the freezing out there. So for those of you in Buffalo, we are praying for you. We are hoping the best for you and your families, and stay safe out there. Everybody with the weather, stay safe for sure. Kinlan says, I want to try collard greens so bad. They're amazing. Kinlan says, my daughter gets seasick and she is a marine biologist. Oh, that must be a tough job for her. Cheerful Bacon, welcome back. Love the name. Always love the name. Saying, made it. Hope you had a great holiday. Yes, I did. I had a great time. And I'm also happy to be back here. Deacon Fatal talking about these recipes. Saying, here's my recipe for them. Smoked meat. Yes, that's a must. Chinese black vinegar. I don't think I've tried that. A bit of sugar and some garlic. I've never made collard greens. I just show up and I eat it. Kinlan loves Cheerful Bacon's name. Deacon Fatal says, if you can't get that vinegar, regular vinegar will do just fine. Yeah, I don't think I've ever had the Chinese black vinegar. But it sounds good. The whole meal sounds delicious, delightful. Deacon Fatal says, I'm never doing that again. That Sarah says, the internet issues are probably due to the weather, especially if you're on Xfinity. I don't have Xfinity anymore here at home. I have T-Mobile. So yeah, the 5G stuff. But I thought I had, let me check. I thought I had the Ethernet. Yeah, the Ethernet cord is plugged up and that's supposed to help Wi-Fi issues. But I mean, I guess if it's connected to 5G and 5G is not doing well, then that explains a lot. Okay. Hopefully it gets better. Deacon Fatal says ice is hard from what I can tell. Yes, it is hard, and you don't think you're gonna fall that much, but you will. Well, at least I did. And I thought I was very I thought I was very athletic for whatever reason. That Sarah says, yes, you need a helmet. Definitely needed that helmet. I probably would have been having a lot of concussions without it. I hit my head at least that I can remember 2 times. So, and I was not expecting that. Deacon Fatal says snow is hard and so is ice. Yes, that is true. House Hippo says wear the helmet always. I fell backwards once and my head hit a chunk of ice. Helmet saved me. Yes, that just when I hear like injury stuff, my body instantly has some type of sensation in whatever area you're talking about, or if I'm like watching it on the movie, I'm like, oh, So as soon as you said that, the back of my head had like a tingling sensation. But yeah, I definitely hit my head too. Always wearing that helmet. All right. And then we have Lola Waterton saying everything are great on my end. Well, welcome to the live stream. Glad to hear that everything is great. The correction, that is good to know. We are here getting ready to talk about Taylor Swift. Did anybody cover it? Because not only was I not on YouTube, and I usually watch YouTube every day, and for the past like 2 months or month and a half, I have not been watching YouTube every day. So did anyone else cover this Taylor Swift situation in the legal community? I didn't see it off a first glance, but let me know if anyone covered it. Deacon Fail says, it's good though. Mrs. CKB says, hey, Miss Bri, long time no hear from. Yes, I know. I explained the disappearance. We are back and hopefully going to be consistently back. I do have to admit, I have a couple of hearings and trials in January. So we may have a few cancellations, but I am going to try my best to still appear. Like I said, I have a paralegal now, and so she should be able to take some of the stress of running my business off of me and helping me get some things done so that I can stay consistent. But let's keep the fingers crossed that the paralegal works out, okay? Kimlin says, as adults, we fall really hard. Right. And it's like we can't save ourselves. And they say, don't put your hands down. And I found out the hard way of why they say that. Just fall and let it happen. I was in pain. I was in pain. I was in pain. Toot says, I'm loving the rain, but my dog basically refuses to go out in it. We have a flood warning until Sunday night. I think that we had a flood warning last night. And I don't have a dog anymore, but when I did have a dog, my dog did not like going in the rain. He had a little raincoat too. He still didn't want to go. Deacon Fatal says, I'm that 80s baby that grew up thinking, let's skate everywhere. I like to skate. House Hippo said Emily D. Baker talked about it a bit, but didn't cover it in depth. I saw a lot of people were tagging her in that topic. But yeah, I looked at her channel and I didn't see like a full topic on it. So I just assumed she didn't cover it. But like I said, I hadn't been able to watch anybody's streams in the last month or two. Deacon Fatal says, yes, several people covered Taylor Swift. Okay, well, I'm just going to be late to the party. Deacon Fatal says, Emily D. Baker did. Yes. Okay. Mr. CKB says, go get him. Gotta get him. That Sarah says, oh yeah, 5G home internet Wi-Fi isn't good for working from home or live streams per the experts in fine print. I almost switched to 5G home Wi-Fi, but read more and learned it's not good for Zoom WebEx. Yeah, I'm learning the hard way. I didn't really want to switch to this, but Xfinity was like increasing my rate, so I was not trying to stay there. But other than that, my fiance wanted it. So I'll probably tell him it's not working out, especially in this rain. And then maybe we'll switch again. So let's see what the last few people have to say. And then we're going to jump into Taylor Swift. We're going to look at the complaint that was the unfiled complaint, so I'm hoping it's still the right version. And then there was an amended complaint filed, so we probably are going to be missing some of the information. I just didn't pay for it because it was 45 pages, and I just didn't pay for it. They charge like almost $1 a page at in LA. Deacon Fiddle says, I think Natalie also covered it. Okay, yeah, I have to go back and check out what the peeps said about it. Shireen says, Bri is back. Yeah, yes, I am back. I am back and here to stay. Here to stay. And then Kinlan says she didn't cover it in depth. Okay, so no one really covered it in depth. So we're going to look at the complaint. Again, this was the first complaint that I believe was filed. It says like it's watermarked that it wasn't filed, but it's within that time frame, so I'm sure that it is accurate. The first page looked the same on the little free page that you get on the LA court website. So we are hoping that this is a good version of it. All right, let's go ahead and check it out. Like I said, I'm missing a screen, so work with me here. Work with me here. All right, here we go. Let's see. How do I do this? There we go. There we go. All right. So we have this lawsuit filed by a bunch of people. Julie Barfus, Randy Floyd Barfus, Selena Monet, Rummer. They put their whole names. Oh, never mind. That was two different people. Okay. So all of these people, okay, come on, computer. All of these people are going ahead and suing good old Live Nation. Our good friends, Live Nation, the same people that are involved with the Travis Scott tragedy. Live Nation just has a lot of mess going on. And while looking into this case, I saw that they were sued for a similar reason at the beginning of 2022. I didn't look all the way into it because I was trying to hurry up and get some things posted for you guys to know that we were going to be live today. But they were sued for a similar reason at the beginning of 2022. So the question is, when are they ever going to learn their lesson? But if they're connected to Live Nation, I don't see them, in my opinion, learning their lesson at all. And so we have all of these people suing Ticketmaster for unlawful conduct in violation of California Cartwright Act and the California Unfair Competition Law to recover parents patrie, can't say those words, damages, disgorgement, restitution, penalties and fees and costs, as well as damages arising from fraud, misrepresentation, and fraudulent inducement. So what are they asking for? They are asking for money. And in short, for those of you who do not know Taylor Swift, she is an American singer and she has a lot of fans. She has a lot of fans that go hard for her, and she has a lot of fans that are willing to spend a lot of money on their tickets. The problem is that Ticketmaster is being accused of encouraging scouting, where people basically buy the tickets and then sell them for a higher price. They're being accused of violating other antitrust laws. And then also, I believe that they sent out special codes for the super fans to get tickets, and they basically sent out less codes than there were fans. And it just didn't work out for them. And so Taylor Swift fans are suing. They are suing Ticketmaster, aka Live Nation. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the facts that they are alleging as to why they should be getting money from Ticketmaster, because either they weren't able to get the tickets or that the tickets were at an increased price. Let's see. This case concerns the anti-competitive conduct of Ticketmaster to impose higher prices on music concert attendees in the pre-sale, sell, and resale market. And this I did not know, that Ticketmaster still makes money when people resell their tickets on Ticketmaster. I did not realize that, because I don't go to concerts, right? I did not realize that people would buy tickets from Ticketmaster and then resell them on Ticketmaster. So allegedly, of course, they would allow scouts to buy these tickets in order to sell it for a higher price, because not only are they getting that transaction from the first person, they're also getting the transaction from the second sale. So I can see why they did it. It allegedly did it. Is it the best business practice? Probably not. People are going to be upset. People are definitely going to be upset. Okay. Because this included Taylor Swift fans, which led to the ticket sale disaster that occurred on November 15, 2022 and November 16, 2022. They filed this complaint fast, like in 2 weeks. Okay. The disaster continued with the cancellation of general sale tickets scheduled for November 18, 2022. Based on information and belief, Ticketmaster have effectuated this anti-competitive scheme by forcing fans of musicians to exclusively use Ticketmaster for pre-sale and sale prices, which are above what a competitive market price would be. Ticketmaster has also forced attendees to exclusively use Ticketmaster's secondary ticket exchange, the platform Ticketmaster operates for the resale of concert tickets. I would like to figure out where they're getting that allegation specifically from, because and you guys can shout out in the chat if you know or if you don't know. Does Ticketmaster have basically a monopoly on concert sales? Can artists not choose to sell their tickets through another platform? I feel like they should be able to, but like I said, I don't go to concerts, so I wouldn't know. Um, let's see. The platform operates for concert tickets. Defendants have undertaken this anti-competitive conduct for the purpose of obtaining service fees and profits that they could not earn in a competitive market for secondary ticket sales, referred to herein as secondary ticket services market. Defendant anti-competitive behavior has substantially harmed and will continue to substantially harm Taylor Swift fans, as well as competition in the ticket sales market and the secondary ticket service market. I think maybe they meant to put market there, ticket sales market. Maybe this is why this one was the one that wasn't filed. There's still some typos in there. But Taylor Swift fans are serious. Like, they got on this immediately. And I was thinking about it when I was doing this case. When I first saw it popping up on Twitter, I thought maybe Taylor Swift was being sued again, because we've covered a couple of cases of Taylor Swift being sued for her alleged copyright infringement. But I'm happy to hear that this is not Taylor Swift being sued. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and jump into some comments because I did ask a question. So let me see the answer. Okay. So we have House Hippo said, I believe some venues only work with Ticketmaster. That makes sense. Deacon Fatal says depends on the label. I think, like I said, I don't know because I don't do tickets, and I'm wondering if they're just like kind of the most trusted. So artists just tend to sell with them. I wonder if that's one of the cases. I'll look into it. Kelly C says not really. They have a monopoly with artists and venues. That's okay. I think someone said something about the venue, and then depends on the label. So I think you guys are all right along the same avenue there. They just kind of monopolize with the people with the money, right? J. Michael RN says many venues have restricted clauses that requires Live Nation. How do they does Live Nation make that much money that they can make venue? Oh, well, because of course the venue would want to be booked. So if you partner up with someone as big as Live Nation, then you're going to consistently make money throughout the year because they're going to consistently have artists going to your venue in order to sell the tickets. That's a smart business move. That is a smart business move on them. Tooth says, yeah, basically a monopoly. Smart business move, but probably bordering monopoly, right? Cheerful Bacon says vendors have to pick. Vendors have to pick as it's based on their contracts, is my understanding. That makes sense. That definitely makes sense. So thank you guys for answering the question, because I definitely did not look into that before hopping on the stream. That's why we are a democracy over here. Taylor Swift and Taylor Swift Management, a global superstar and AMA's most awarded artist of all time, contracted with Ticketmaster for venues. Okay, so it sounds like their venues, like you guys are saying, are connected with the possibility to sell the tickets. So she picked the venue and then automatically had to go through Ticketmaster. Okay, makes sense. The Eras Tour is what she was booking it for. This tour is her first since the pandemic. Loverfest, her 2020 tour, was previously canceled due to COVID-19 pandemic. As one of the most, if not the most, iconic artists in the world, millions of fans attempted to purchase tickets to the Eras tour. Is she the most iconic? Maybe because I'm not a fan. But Taylor Swift is now the most iconic, according to this complaint. Based on information and belief at all times, Ticketmaster controlled the registration and access to Taylor Swift, the Eras Tour's tickets. Ticketmaster announced registration for the Taylor Swift Tix pre-sale during November 1st through the 9th, 2022. This announcement guaranteed a leveling the playing field without racing against bots for ticket access. This announcement also announced preferred access to participate in the sale as a Loverfest verified fan. In order to access the sale, registration was required via the same Ticketmaster account as the Loverfest purchase. So basically trying to give them a little incentive for missing the first concert. Based on information and belief, before defendant's unlawful conduct caused harm in the secondary ticket service market, defendant had been active principally in the sale of primary or first sale Taylor Swift tickets. The term primary ticket market refers to the market for the primary or first sale of the concert tickets, and the primary ticket platform is the platform distributing those tickets. Based on information and belief, Ticketmaster has made agreements with a stadium in every location of the Taylor Swift tour, and these stadiums are the only venues able to hold large concerts. Ticketmaster was smart. Live Nation, let's go with that. Live Nation was smart by contracting with these venues. But no other venue can hold half as many people as the stadiums and venues working through Ticketmaster. Taylor Swift and other popular musicians have no choice but to work through Ticketmaster, monopoly. And because artists like Taylor Swift has to go through Ticketmaster, their fans do as well. This means virtually all major music concert ticket sales in California and the United States go through Ticketmaster. That I cannot be mad at them for the what they set up on the back end to ensure that they are consistently making money. Well, we can be mad at them for, oh, you guys can't even see the screen. See, I got to get back in the mood. I'm not back in the mood, back in the groove. What we can be mad at them for is the fact that they allow all of these people to buy the tickets and then sell them at higher prices because they know that the fans are going to buy them. And honestly, a lot of the people that are Taylor Swift fans are on the in my head, this is true. I have not looked up the statistics, but are on the younger end, and they don't really have the money to be spending $20,000, $5,000, $3,000 for tickets to Taylor Swift. And then they're having their parents spend it. And then it's like, are the real fans really getting to see the show, or is it just people that can afford the tickets that may not be super fans, but they can afford to go, right? Let's see what the peeps are saying. Deacon Fatal says, hold on, let me get that book back out. I don't know what book you're talking about. Deacon Fatal says, to some, but overall, no. Okay, did I miss something? Let's see. I don't know. I can't find whatever comment you're referring to, Deacon Fatal. Biographer says, in the day, secondary markets reselling tickets was called scalping and was illegal. And so basically they're promoting it by basically allowing it. Pointing up for Deacon Fatal. Deacon Fatal says, okay, now you just said bots, and that is another thing. Oh, how the bots are not like actual people. So do the bot? I don't know about this stuff because I don't go to concerts. So maybe I'm gonna have to look further into it. Deacon Fatal says, so a bot AI might be able to inflate the ticket cost. That is what it seems like. Or if let's say people are able to create bots and things like that, and they can have them go buy the tickets at the lower price, and then they go and resell it on the secondary selling site, and then they can inflate that price. And especially if you own a bunch of the tickets, you can set that price, and there will be a bunch of tickets at the same price that you're setting it at, so people will have no other choice but to buy it at that higher price. Deacon Fatal says that is unfair to fans and the artists. Right. And I wonder if, because it seems like the artist would not get a percentage of the secondhand sale, and that probably will be where most of the profits are going to Ticketmaster. So if this thing goes to trial, we're going to be having a great time going through the discovery to see what we find out, right? Where is all that secondary money going to? Does it also go to the artist? I would assume not. Biographer says using bots to grab tickets is current day technology approach to what and still is by many considered to be unethical. I would agree with that. Deacon pointing up. Biographer says Ticketmaster controls the secondary market on their ticket sales as well, or so it seems from their website. Yeah, so the allegations in this complaint also finds that to be true as well. Like I said, we would have to look into discovery to see if that's what's actually happened. But I wouldn't be surprised if they own the website that they're benefiting off of the sales. That would not surprise me. House Hip Hop says Live Nation takes a cut of the resale price too. Yep, they also allege that as well. And then Matt Bond, welcome back to the live stream, saying Garth Brooks did his stadium tour through Ticketmaster and no original ticket was over $85. Scalpers resold for hundreds. Yeah, and so Matt Bond, I know you're into music. Do you know if the artists get any part of that secondary sale? If you know, let us know. If you don't know, that's okay too. Matt Bond says the lobby system was an attempt to stop bots, but it looks like they are continuing to go along with it, huh? Okay, let's see what else we got going on. Based on information and belief, Ticketmaster has also expanded into the secondary ticket market, which is what you guys are talking about. For years, scalpers have been a problem in the secondary market. Ticketmaster has stated that it has taken steps to address this issue, but in reality has taken steps to make additional profit from the scalp tickets. Ticketmaster forces purchases of tickets from its site to use only Ticketmaster's secondary ticket exchange for the resale of those tickets. Ticketmaster then gets the higher fees paid by fans who have no choice but to pay for the right to use the Ticketmaster secondary ticket exchange platform. So many tickets. Isn't that paragraph? By doing so, it has thrived and succeeded in removing competition from both the primary and secondary markets. This has gained inflated revenue otherwise unavailable to it. Instead of competition, Ticketmaster has conspired with stadiums to force fans to buy more expensive tickets that Ticketmaster gets additional fees from every time the tickets are resold. So yeah, they basically created a modern day monopoly electronically through ticket sales. Allegedly. Ticketmaster had previously violated the terms. Oh, maybe, like I said, this is the one that was not filed because I'm finding some typos. The terms of the merger with Live Nation in 2019 after it had retaliated against concert venues that chose ticketing companies other than Ticketmaster. Based on information and belief, Ticketmaster has continued this behavior despite increased judicial scrutiny. Based on information and belief, the central components of Ticketmaster schemes are as follows. They must have already been in the works on this because, like I said, they filed this in about 14 to 21 days. They have a lot of information unless they looked at the one that was filed at the beginning of the year. That's a lot of information that they have in this. First, stadium venues contractually require that the resale of concert tickets be effectuated only through Ticketmaster's secondary ticket exchange. These venues have enforced and continue to enforce this requirement, while Ticketmaster continues to allow scalpers to buy up tickets over buyers who actually plan to attend the performance, which, again, that unfairness. And then they're making them buy it at a markup because they know they want to go. Ticketmaster allows transferring tickets, but buying tickets this way means a buyer needs to send a ticket reseller money and hope they aren't being scammed and get the ticket because of how risky buying resold tickets outside of Ticketmaster is. The Ticketmaster has left itself as the only real choice for buying tickets. On November 14, 2022, verified fans of I was like, how are they verified? But I forgot they got verified by, being you signing up for it. Of Taylor Swift. On November 14th, verified fans of the Taylor Swift Tickets presale were sent a code as well as a link via text to the cell phone associated with the Ticketmaster registration. Registration. The text encouraged login via desktop over cell phone based on information and belief. However, thousands of verified fans were not sent codes or sent codes that did not work. Basically, sent out too few codes for as many people as it was, I think. Based on information and belief, on November 15, 2022, millions of verified fans had received codes, were unable to purchase tickets. This was the result of the excessive distribution, tiny screen, distribution of the codes and the addition of 14 million non-verified Ticketmaster users that were allowed access to the Taylor Swift presale tickets. How did they get all of this information? That's what I would like to know. Did someone at Ticketmaster snitch? Ticketmaster also offered a pre-sale of Taylor Swift The Eras tour tickets via email for Capital One card holders. The link associated with this sale opened to Ticketmaster. The same registration was required. The last 6 digits of the Capital One card holder's account would be used as the code to access the ticket sales. That sounds like a scam. Why would you use your account number to buy concert tickets? Even though it's only a portion of the account number, that sounds sketch as heck. Oh, no. This was on November 16th at 2 p.m. local venue time. Millions of fans waited up to 8 hours and were unable to purchase tickets as a result of insufficient ticket releases and other issues similar to prior pre-sales. Ticketmaster had advertised a general ticket sale to Taylor Swift, The Eras Tour, to begin on November 18, 2022. Ticketmaster canceled the general sale on November 17, 2022, citing the insufficient quality of the remaining tickets. So here's some nosebleed seats for you real Taylor Swift fans, right? Based on information and belief, Ticketmaster intentionally and purposefully misled Taylor Swift pre-sale ticket holders by providing codes to 1.4 million verified fans with the option of purchasing six tickets each to 3 venue locations. Ticketmaster did not have enough seats to meet the demand this number of codes would require. Ticketmaster intentionally provided codes when it could not satisfy the ticket demand. They wanted to increase their chances that someone was going to bite. Wow, that's not good. Based on the information and belief, Ticketmaster intentionally and knowingly partnered with Capital One for pre-sale and advertising tickets. I don't know why they did that. Using the person's account number to buy the tickets, that's antitrust. Ticketmaster released less than 10% of the venue's seating capacity for the sale, resulting in millions denied access to even a single ticket. So you're going to go to a concert by yourself. Based on information and belief, Ticketmaster intentionally and knowingly allowed scalpers and bots access to both ticket sales. It sounds that way. Ticketmaster intentionally and knowingly scheduled a general sale of tickets, knowing they would not have the quality necessary to facilitate the sale. Based on information and belief, Ticketmaster allowed tickets to be resold during the Taylor Swift presale, and the Ticketmaster allowed tickets to be resold during the Taylor Swift Tickets presale as if the tickets were at face value negotiated by Taylor Swift management. when in fact they were double and triple the negotiated price. Ticketmaster was eager to allow this arrangement, as Ticketmaster is paid again in additional fees every time a ticket is resold, and Ticketmaster restricts official resales to its own secondary market. So they're profiting double time within the first 2 days of the sale. Let's see what the peeps are saying in the chat. Let's see. Where are we at? Okay, come on, computer. Let's see. Deacon Fado says artists get most of the money from tours and merch, so not from ticket sales. Deacon Fado says album sales are like 1% of a cent. Yeah, that makes sense. A lot of artists don't really make money on actually being an artist. It's the stuff that they do outside of the music, which is not good. Matt Bond says no, the artists don't get any form of the resale. Garth is trying to get the resale system to only allow face price on the Vegas residency. Yeah, that would make sense. People should not be able to make a business off the sale of tickets to someone else's concert. So I would agree with that. Deacon Fiddle agreeing. House Hippo saying there have been previous lawsuits against Ticketmaster over their service fees and other fees. Yeah, there was a very recent case too, and like I said, I'm going to actually look at it because I just saw it scrolling. Elizabeth Carmichael says, yeah, the merger between Ticketmaster and Live Nation never should have happened. I feel like Live Nation is just always in trouble. Like, why would you merge with them? Deacon Fatal says to Matt Bond, I have been out of playing live for a long time and just make music for films. So I'm sure a lot of things have changed. And Matt Bond says that's not actually true. They get more than albums. But they have to pay band crew, vendors, venue, hire, and the promoter takes a huge cut. Yeah. And they make more money doing other things than actually having the music, because of what Matt said. You have to pay out all these other people. Then you got the recording company, everybody you have to pay out. Okay, Deconvedo says that's right. Matt Bond says, yep, the industry is very different these days. That's why Garth went independent. Deconvedo says unverified. Like I said, I think those were the people that had purchased the tickets for the COVID concert that got canceled, or they verified some other way. BRB. Okay. Elizabeth Carmichael says to Matt Bond, Garth is lucky he's big enough to be able to do it. Sucks for the smaller bands that want to but don't have the following yet. Yeah, they for sure take advantage of, especially like the really younger artists. Carrie Todd says, Bri, I've missed you. I have missed you too. I'm so happy to be back here live streaming. I'm happy that you guys showed up tonight. I'm having a great time. I was very nervous that I would not be able to do this anymore. That Bond says Taylor is big enough. Yeah, Taylor Swift is definitely big enough. She's the most iconic artist according to this complaint. So she is big enough. Matt Bond says it will take the big artists like Taylor and Garth to make the system better. I would agree with that. Elizabeth Carmichael says, yes, Taylor is, not referring to her in this case. Elizabeth says, agreed, Matt Bond. I would love to see the big bands do it and succeed, unlike when Pearl Jam tried to take down Ticketmaster 20 years ago. And it's still going on, right? Skeezy says, hey, Bri, I'm watching on delay, but wanted to say hi, and it's great to see you. Well, thank you. Thank you for joining live. Hopefully you can catch up by the end of it. But if not, we are just happy to have you here. Deacon Fatal is back. She said BRB is back. Okay, let's see what else facts they have going on here. It's a lot of facts. I'm trying to get through it. Let's see. Okay, we're almost through it. Okay. So I forgot to figure out where we were at. Okay, we did that one. Let's see. And then I think we're right here. Based on information and belief, Ticketmaster intentionally and knowingly allowed Taylor Swift pre-sale purchasers to purchase VIP tickets, knowing that the mailed portion of the VIP package would be voided and never reach the fan. Based on information and belief, Ticketmaster intentionally and knowingly sold obstructed view tickets without purchasers knowing the tickets were obstructed. People go to concerts with obstructed views? That's wild. Ticketmaster intentionally, knowingly, and oppressively required signature on a waiver that the purchaser was not provided adequate time to read, contemplate, or negotiate. This is illustrated in millions of fans making multiple failed attempts at ticket checkout to finish the purchase because tickets had been removed from their basket without adequate time to check out and purchase tickets. They were removing tickets. I wonder if all this stuff is true. Because remember, guys, these are just allegations. They have not been proven to be true. So these people are going to be requesting discovery to prove these allegations true. And on top of that, this document that I have is 33 pages. They did a first amended complaint that is 45 pages. So I wonder what additional is added into that. And maybe we'll get it for next stream, or maybe not next stream, but maybe we'll get it eventually. But yeah, I want to know what exactly they added to that complaint. Ticketmaster knowingly and intentionally allowed tickets to be removed from a purchase basket order before being allowed adequate time to review, waiver, release, and complete purchase. That's so weird that they're just taking tickets out of people's basket. That's weird. Imagine being like, oh, I'm getting 4 tickets so I can take my 2 kids to the concert, and then they press click and pay and they accepted the release, and then they only have like 3 tickets. Now you can only take 1 kid or get rid of your husband or wife. Like that does not seem right. I don't think they should be able to do that, and I want to know what law that is, because I do not know that off the top of my head. Ticketmaster allowed bots and scalpers to remove tickets from the fans' basket without being allowed adequate time to complete the sale. Ticketmaster allowed ADA compliant seats to be sold without verification of disability or need, thus depriving individuals with disability access ADE compliant seats. They have some typos. The policy and spirit of the California antitrust law are to promote the free play and competitive market forces and the lower prices to consumers that result. Ticketmaster is the dominant online venue for concert pre-sale, sale, and resale in the United States, have violated the policy, spirit, and letter of those laws by imposing agreements and policies at the retail and wholesale level that have prevented effective price competition across a wide swath of online ticket sales. So, with that being said, I lost my train of thought. I was going to say something about that, but I completely forgot what it was. So we're going to move on. Ticketmaster claims these agreements. Oh, that's what I was going to get into. The agreements. I wonder if any of the venues are going to come out and say that their contracts are unconscionable and try to get out of them so that they avoid getting the backlash that Ticketmaster and Live Nation are getting for being a part of the venues. And then also some of the comments that were being said as far as wanting the bigger artists to come together and make a change here. It sounds like these people that are having their fans scammed are the bigger artists, because they're the ones that need the bigger venues. So I would definitely like to see the difference in that, because I'm sure Live Nation is not contracting with a teeny tiny venues that don't need Ticketmaster. They're probably able to avoid these type of alleged scams. But for the bigger artists, they're booking the bigger venues. They should be taking a stand a little bit more often, kind of like what Matt Bond was saying. Yeah. So where are we at? Let's see. Elizabeth Carmichael says, when indie artists try and move to the big time, it's definitely a concern. The small venue / festival network is pretty well run. Okay, yep, that was the comment I was trying to make. Well said, Elizabeth. Deacon Fatal says, they better not have a musician on the jury, because we will be like, now. Yeah, we gonna have to get this canceled real quick, right? J. Michael RN says, when you put items in your cart, they are only there. Oh, yeah, there is that thing. I completely forgot. I don't shop online a lot. Yes, they do have that time limit of if you take too long, then they can remove the things. But I can't imagine them just like removing one thing at a time, or without saying, hey, you need to finish or it's going to be taken out, like giving you some type of warning to get it done. But I guess that's what they're saying. They had to hurry up and agree with it, and because there was that 10-minute countdown going on. I get that for sure. Where we go. And often between adding them and completing a transaction, they were sold in other transactions. Yeah, but when they're in that little bucket, they shouldn't be available for other people to purchase. That was my understanding of the purpose of the little countdown basket. If they're actively working on it or they're still within their 10 minutes, they should not be like, okay, you're taking too long. There's 1 ticket, there's 2 tickets, there's 3 tickets. Oh, you're all out of tickets. Like, they shouldn't do that. They should give them the full 10 minutes. And then if they're not done or whatever, however long it is, give them the full time. And then if they're not done and they say, okay, cancel, then you take them away. But if they don't say, okay, cancel, people are going to buy these tickets. You don't need to sell them right there at that second. You just want to say, oh, I sold out in one minute. Like, no, it's not necessary. Let people read their terms and conditions. Okay. We have Matt Bond saying the best tickets are the production releases we let go on sale weeks before the shows. They are the ones we hold for lighting, camera, etc. in case we need space. That's smart. Deacon Fatal says, I think most of the laws that cover this is 17 USC. There is another one, but I can't think of it. 17 USC, the only familiarity I have with that is copyright laws. Elizabeth Carmichael says yes to Matt Bond. Also, the unused promo tickets, I got 2 second row center stage for Ben Folds and Tori Amos, the week of the concert. Deacon Fatal says this would be a mix of that USC code and other codes. Okay, makes sense. Matt Bond says a huge part of the problem they had was Garth's Vegas residency went on sale the same time Taylor. No website can handle that traffic, which is another thing that came to my mind as well, is that maybe Ticketmaster didn't really have the system, which they should, if they're going to be releasing or at least choose to release on different dates, right? To actually know if the website was acting properly and if it was supposed to wait for them to be done or put cancel or whatever. But since the system had a glitch in it, maybe it was accidentally taking tickets out of the basket. That could be a little bit of an excuse. Is it going to save them? Probably not. But I could see how the high traffic could affect their actual computer system and make it so that it wasn't intentional and that it was just a lapse of the technology. Deacon Fatal says that sounds weird. As far as the release of the tickets, Deacon Fatal says no, they shouldn't be doing that. That is a raffle. Nothing good comes out from a raffle, and you need certain I want to say permits or licenses to even do raffles. Deacon Fatal says Ben Folds is a good band. Deacon Fatal says, could they have been overwhelmed? That's one of the things that pop into my mind. But is it going to relieve them from liability? Are they going to be able to show that it was not intentional? Maybe they can show that it was negligent and not intentional. But then what do we say about the resale and only allowing the resales on their sites and then taking that bigger cut of the resale prices? So they may be able to get off on some things, but I don't think they'll be able to get off on all of the causes of action. Elizabeth says to Deacon Fatal, it was actually him solo, not the whole band. As far as the concert goes, Matt Bond says Garth and Taylor crashed the sites on their own. Together, we're asking for chaos. Exactly. Release on different dates. Don't let them schedule near each other. Come on now. Deacon Fatal says, give me my money back. Deacon Fatal says, nope. And Amber Lowe says, if Ticketmaster could handle the boy band craze during the 90s and 2000s, they could have handled this. But was it as much back in the 90s and 2000s? I feel like not even a lot of people had computers. So I feel like people were still buying tickets in person back then. So I don't know. Their technology should advance as they continue to grow. I definitely agree with that. But I don't think it can compare to the 90s and 2000s. Elizabeth Carmichael says, really, whoever thought releasing those two events at the same time is an idiot. Ticketmaster, who's doing your contracts over there? Who is doing your contracts over there? All right, let's hop back into this because I think we are almost done with the allegation section. All right, let's see. Based on information and belief, Ticketmaster claims these agreements and policies improve customer experiences and keep ticket prices down. I don't know if I agree with that. This is in spite of the massive number of customer complaints Ticketmaster receives every day. The dramatic increase in the ticket prices since Ticketmaster achieved monopoly power. There we go. There's our word, guys. And the excessive service fees, someone brought that up, that they're getting sued over that too. Ticketmaster attaches that are far higher than service fees for any similar service in other markets. Ticketmaster is a monopoly that is only interested in taking every dollar it can from a captive public because they don't have anywhere to go. That's a good way to say it. California antitrust laws are concerned with protecting market competition and preventing single dominant company preventing monopolies from setting overly priced because of the lack of competitors. Ticketmaster has allied with stadiums to entrench the dominance to harm consumers in California and across the United States. Okay, good way to end that. They go into jurisdiction and venue. We're not going to really jump into all of that, all of these people in Virginia, but they jumped on this lawsuit so quick. Okay, they got agency allegations in here and everything. So here we go. So we're going to get into the cause of actions. There are quite a lot, so we're not going to read through everything. We're just going to kind of read the first couple of sentences, give our little opinion on it. I'll check some chats, and we'll go through that way. All right, so the first allegation is breach of contract. Plaintiffs entered into a contract with Ticketmaster on November 15, 2022, setting forth the covenant, condition, and terms of the parties' agreement. The material terms of the contract include, but are not limited to, defendant agreed that in exchange for plaintiffs purchasing a significant amount of merchandise and or in exchange for the purchase of the canceled Loverfest tickets, plaintiffs would be entitled to participate in the pre-sale of the Eras Tour tickets. Only those individuals who satisfied either of those conditions would be allowed into pre-sale via codes as a verified fan. Okay, guys, so that just broke down what the verified fan was. If you bought tickets to Loverfest, what was it? Bought tickets to Loverfest. I missed the other one. Let's see. Okay, either purchasing a significant amount of merchandise and or buying tickets to Loverfest. That's how you become a verified purchaser for Taylor Swift tickets. Only those individuals who satisfied those conditions would be allowed into the pre-sale via code as a verified fan. Plaintiff relied upon and accepted such terms and conditions, thereby purchasing merchandise and or accepting the benefit from canceled Loverfest tickets. Now, the Loverfest tickets, they may not have what do you call it? I can't think of the word, but relied on it to their detriment, right? Detrimentally relied on it. But the people that decided to purchase merchandise that they may or may not have otherwise purchased because of trying to become a verified member or a verified Taylor Swift fan, they relied on that to their detriment and they weren't even able to get the tickets. I think they have a little bit more of a case than the canceled Loverfest people, unless the Loverfest people decided to forego a refund in order to get pre-sale tickets to Taylor Swift next show. Now, then they would have detrimentally relied on it. If there was no like exchange for the pre-bought Loverfest tickets, then I don't really see how they detrimentally relied on it. But if they like forewent getting a refund to become a verified member, then yes, of course, they suffered some, they relied detrimentally on that. All right, we're not going to go through all of that because it's going to recite some of the some of the facts that we already read. The next thing that they're suing for is intentional misrepresentation. Ticketmaster made statements to plaintiffs about the pre-sale of Taylor Swift tickets, particularly regarding how to get codes, who would get codes, how to get tickets, and who would be able to be a part of the pre-sale. Ticketmaster also failed to disclose that they had sent more codes than they could accommodate with tickets. Ticketmaster had no intention of following these statements to plaintiffs. Ticketmaster willfully, purposely, and intentionally deceived plaintiffs for their benefit. If the allegations are true, I think they have a pretty strong case for that intentional misrepresentation, because if they knew, they had to know that there was way more codes than there were people who actually, I mean, they had to know there was way more people than the codes that they put out, knowing that some of the codes wouldn't work because they didn't even have that many seats available. So I think they have a pretty strong position with that if these allegations can be proven to be true. Okay, a lot of details there, so we might want to check that out later. The next thing that they are suing for is fraud. Ticketmaster engaged in the above behavior with the intent to defraud plaintiffs. One of the ways buyers such as plaintiffs could be verified was by spending a certain amount of money on official Taylor Swift merchandise. Ticketmaster made out that spending enough would get a buyer a code and they would have a fair chance to get a ticket. Neither statement was true, but by misleading plaintiffs, Ticketmaster was able to get buyers and many plaintiffs to buy merchandise. Ticketmaster had an agreement with the merchandise seller and benefited from the additional money spent on merchandise. Again, that would be a smart idea if it wasn't a scam. But they're basically, during COVID, there was no concerts going on. So what other way to get money from people? Hey, buy our merchandise and we'll let you get into a concert easier. You'll be the first one to get the tickets at the next concert. So smart in that way, but not following up on it, not smart. Bad idea. Bad idea. And that's why we are looking at this lawsuit as we speak. Okay, fourth cause of action against the defendants is fraudulent inducement. They go on to say, by way of wrongful acts and omissions as alleged herein, Ticketmaster will be unjustly enriched if they are able to profit from plaintiffs' actions free from claims by plaintiffs. Plaintiffs are informed and believe that plaintiff claims against Ticketmaster are actionable and recoverable. Plaintiffs sustain damages approximately caused by Ticketmaster under the cause of action in the amount of thousands of dollars, which is a reasonable value. Basically, they shouldn't be able to profit off of their alleged deception. And then we get into the antitrust violations. I'm going to check some comments or chats, and then we'll get back to the antitrust violation because I know I've missed quite a few since going through. Here we go. We got Matt Bond saying, I get only allowing resales on Ticketmaster to avoid scams on eBay and Facebook, but should be limited to face value. I agree with that. I don't think it's an issue that they only allow the resale through Ticketmaster in order to verify that it is an actual ticket, but they should not be able to inflate the price. Maybe they can inflate it a little bit, but I don't think that they should be inflating it by much. Maybe $5 more. Even maybe it should be a discount because it's a used ticket. Maybe it's not used, but you know what I mean. Maybe they should be going at lower price rather than allowing people to profit on it. So that the person is just getting at least some of their money back and not losing the full ticket price because they can no longer go. That will definitely reduce the likelihood of scalpers and bots and things trying to buy these tickets if they aren't able to profit at all. So either put it at the price like Matt Bond said, or go ahead and put it at a discount. You can resell it for 10% less of the price. Ticketmaster is still getting money from the transaction. Don't be greedy, Ticketmaster. J. Michael Rn said, who SBF? I don't know what you mean by that. Elizabeth Carmichael says, There was way less online purchasing when you used to go to the venue or authorize Ticketmaster agents to buy tickets. Oh, yeah, back in the day. All right, Ticketmaster is old. Matt Bond says Ticketmaster have been around forever. This system is a mess up of trying to stop bots and scammers, scalpers gone wrong. Sounds about right. Deacon Fatal, House Hippo says, I remember when you had to call Ticketmaster to buy tickets, dialing the number over and over trying to get through. Now they're stealing tickets out of your basket online. Which one is better? Which one is better? Is their system really improving with the technology? Those are questions that need answers. Deacon Fiddle says, okay, I can see how this would get on an artist's nerves. Yeah, and then it makes the artist look bad because the people are paying to go see them. And even though they're not the ones doing it and they're not even the ones profiting off of it, that makes a big issue for them. Matt Bond says another big problem that will be used by Ticketmaster is people sign into their accounts on multiple devices thinking they have better odds. If they refresh them at different times, it will confuse it. Oh, that is something that can mess with the technology. Maybe they have to put something in place to where you can only log in on one. I have systems where it doesn't let me log in on multiple devices. So maybe they should implement something like that. Elizabeth Carmichael says, I'll really date myself here. As an adult, I bought tickets for a concert on release day of Strawbridge and Clothier Store, which was an authorized Ticketmaster agent at the time. I don't even know what you're talking about. So if anyone can guess her age, go ahead and put it in the chat. Just kidding. Don't do that. House Hippo says, isn't that illegal buying merchandise in exchange for a perk? They bought the merchandise in exchange for being a verified member. So technically they're getting more than okay. So I get where you're coming from. Isn't it it's illegal to have people buy merchandise in order to be entered into a raffle, which some people in the chat has said this is like a raffle. So if they are able to show that it's a raffle and they don't have the license for it and the permit for it, then yes, it is illegal of being at a chance to win something. But if you're still having to buy the other thing, I don't think that applies, but don't quote me on that. But I do know to be like entered into a raffle, you cannot force someone to buy something in order to do that. But this one is like they're not being entered in a chance to win. They're just being put into a pot to get kind of like a what do you call it? Early access. So I don't think that applies here, but it might. It might. I just don't know it for sure off the top of my head. Deacon Fatal says, okay, so they messed up with the venue. They messed up with everything. Deacon Fatal says, this does bring me back to the bots mess. House Hippo says, were they selling tickets at only one venue or was this a concert tour? This was a tour. This one was for a tour. So they had the option to buy 6 tickets at 3 different venues. So they could buy 2 tickets at one venue and then 4 at another, or they could split it up 1 ticket, 4. Yeah. So they had the option to buy 6 tickets, the max of 6 tickets in 3 different venues. So this is going on in multiple cities, multiple states, and they're not able to get their tickets. Marianne Williams, welcome back to the live stream. Nice to see you today. Saying but tickets to concerts we went to Tower Records or the venue, lots of waiting in line. Yeah, that's what I remember, even though I never bought tickets back then, but I don't remember everything being online in order to crash. But I can see like the phone lines and them waiting in line and them closing the ticket window right when you get to the front, or letting scalpers into the ticket line when they didn't have their verified card. That's probably more of what happened. House of Hippo says to Elizabeth, so they had no idea which location the merchandise purchasers would want to go to. Exactly. They could have all been going to the same venue and put them all as verified, and then they would not have been able to get the tickets. Marianne says to buy tickets, bad spelling. Oh, it's all good. We got it. Elizabeth said to Marianne, I missed the waiting in line at the venues. What a way to spend your day, huh? Elizabeth says, I don't know for sure, but I would assume not. I don't know exactly what you're referring to there. Nikki Fatal says, so Ticketmasters are just poo. And they are, like they're saying, a monopoly at this point. So you just kind of have to deal with it. Matt Bond says, waiting in line was always fun, was always the fun part, getting to know fellow hardcore fans. Yeah, a lot easier to meet people that way, right? And not scalpers like this internet thing got going on. And I feel like scalpers would have been a little bit more discreet back then. I don't maybe we would see like a, not saying that a 70-year-old man can't like Taylor Swift, but I don't think we would see a lot of them standing in the Taylor Swift line, or a lot of middle-aged men in general, unless they're getting tickets for their kids. But I think that you can be a lot more discreet online because people can't see you. We don't even know who these bots they're alleging are, right? That Sarah says, so glad I got to catch one of your live stream. It's been too long. Gotta run and get some dinner, but I'll finish watching on the replay crew. Well, awesome. Well, thank you for joining live. I'm happy to see everyone here. I'm excited. I'm ready to get back into live streaming. I definitely missed it. It was just life stuff that I had to get done. And like I said, I am hoping that I am able to stay consistent. Moving forward, because I really miss doing this. I really like hanging out with you guys and seeing what you have to say about these cases. Deacon Fatal says they are poo. I said poo. I know. Ticketmaster has been an evil empire for decades. Yes. Deacon Fatal says, when I was playing on the indie band, we just gave tickets out by hand. We were small, but I'm glad we never had to deal with this mess. And it just keeps getting messier. Just keeps getting messier. Elizabeth says to Deacon Fatal, at not sure how long ago that was or where you are, but even some of the mid-level venues in my area use Ticketmaster, Philly. So some of the bigger indie bands are stuck using them. It sounds like they have a lot they need to fix. All right. See, just putting up some comments here, and let's finish out this case. And I'm hoping that my food is on the way. Alpha went to get me food, but he's not back yet. Let me see here. All right, let's share the screen again. All right, so they're also suing for antitrust violation. There is an actual controversy between plaintiffs on the one hand and defendant on the other hand as their rights, obligations, and interests concerning the contract and or the property. Due to this actual controversy, plaintiffs are entitled to a determination of their rights and obligations concerning contracts and the property pursuant the equitable order of declaratory relief. Ticketmaster coordinated efforts to foreclose competition in secondary ticket service market. Ticketmaster has been able to accomplish this violation because of the individual and collective market power that Golden State and Ticketmaster wield over the sale of Taylor Swift tickets. Ticketmaster coordinated illegal acts in an effort to force ticket holders to use Ticketmaster as their exclusive provider for secondary tickets. They go on to talk about that. And then we have first antitrust claim, unlawful tying. They go on to say Ticketmaster's conduct in foreclosing competition in secondary ticket service market for Taylor Swift ticket constitutes an illegal tying arrangement in violation of the California Business and Professions Code. A tying arrangement is a conditional selling dependent on the purchase of another product or service. The primary ticket market and secondary ticket service market are distinct and separate markets. Taylor Swift and other touring musician tickets are sold in the primary ticket and the secondary ticket market. They basically have substantial power over these sales. We're not going to read all of that because we got to get through it. So yeah, they're basically having a monopoly over the primary and the secondary, just as they alleged in the beginning of the complaint. So they basically have no choice but to buy it from Ticketmaster. Oh, that was a long one. I'm glad we didn't go through that. The second antitrust claim is exclusive dealings. Ticketmaster's conduct, let's see, has allowed it to control the supply of tickets to music concerts in order for the artists like Taylor Swift to sell to buyers wanting to see them in concert. The buyers and artists must go through Ticketmaster. This has forced both groups into exclusive dealings with Ticketmaster that lessen competition as well as created and strengthened Ticketmaster's monopolistic power, which violates the California law. I just don't see how they can get through this case without also bringing in the venues, because the venues are the ones that entered into the contract with Ticketmaster. I'm gonna have to check that out because I can't see how they could just blame Ticketmaster. The artist picked the venue and then the venue picked Ticketmaster. So I feel like the venue should also be included in this. And then they know the practices of Ticketmaster and then they entered into this kind of agreement with them. So I'm thinking that the venue should be brought into this as well. Ticketmaster has dominant monopolistic. Oh, let me take that away. Ticketmaster has dominant monopolistic power in the market for primary and secondary ticket sales. Ticketmaster currently controls 70% of this market. Ticketmaster's high market share, as well as its agreement with concert venues, have given it an extreme power. Okay, I can see how the venues wouldn't be brought into it because are no, but they're big businesses too because they're a big venue. So were they manipulated into this contract too? I don't think so. It kind of, to me, I'm feeling conspiracy. I don't feel manipulation. I feel conspiracy. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think that the venue should also be liable in this as well for picking Ticketmaster? I know it's more likely for them to sell tickets because Ticketmaster is so big, but it's kind of feeling like conspiracy to me, especially because Ticketmaster has been around for so long. And so the venues are more likely to go to them because they know they're going to make money if they contract with Ticketmaster. Oh, did I skip one? What did I skip? Okay, 3. Price discrimination. Ticketmaster's conduct is in its dynamic pricing and manipulation of the secondary ticket service market for Taylor Swift tickets constitute price discrimination in violation of the California Business Profession Code. Price discrimination involves giving different prices to different buyers for comparable goods. Good thing to bring up. Not all concert tickets are of equal value. Different value venues may vary in general admission prices. Groups of seats vary in desirability, and some tickets contain VIP benefits. However, seats that have about the same view of the musician at the same venue and with the same amount of VIP benefits are essentially equal in value and should be similar price, right? So they're basically, you can have one seat that's $1,000 and then right next to it they're selling it for $2,000, which they're saying is not fair, which I agree with. Let's see. Where we at? So if you're trying to get like nosebleed seats and someone bought the only $600 seat and now you have to pay $1,500, that's not a pricing discrimination. I see what they're going there. 4th, price fixing. Ticketmaster's conduct of allying with scalpers and venues has amounted to price fixing. That is true, because they can set them and be like, people are going to buy them because we're the only person you can get the ticket from. So, boo, yeah. And so basically what's probably happening is that Ticketmaster has an anti-competition clause in their contracts telling the venues that they cannot hire different ticket services in order to sell their tickets. And so if that wasn't in the contract, venues can say, hey, Taylor Swift is performing here. What's the rate that you're going to charge? And then they would do what would make the most sense for them, the artists, and also the ticket buyers. How are you going to sell more tickets more efficiently, faster, and for probably a cheaper price? And so people would most likely go with a cheaper price ticket server because they end up making more money off of it, and the tickets are lower for the fans and things like that. So basically, Ticketmaster is contracting with these venues and saying you cannot use any other Ticketmaster, so that stops the competition between them. All right. Price fixing. Ticketmasters, they go with the venues and the scalpers. Horizontal price fixing involves competitors allying to set one price for any product, commodity, or service through any agreement to raise, stabilize, or otherwise affect prices. This agreement does not need to be formalized. This agreement has allowed Ticketmaster to raise prices above what it would be able to otherwise. Ticketmaster has competitors. What happened? Has competitors. So where did we go? Like SeatGeek charge ticket price at the same cost as Ticketmaster. It prevents buyers from being able to find cheaper alternatives. The only way prices could stay this high for both Ticketmaster and competitors through an agreement between them in violation of the antitrust laws. Price fixing. Group boycotting is another thing that they're suing for under antitrust. Ticketmaster is also beholden to an agreement it had with the Justice Department forbidding it from threatening concert venues with losing access to its tours if those venues decided to use ticket providers other than Ticketmaster. Yeah, the threats. This agreement has been extended to 2025. Despite this agreement, Ticketmaster has continued to engage in group boycotting, where competitors ally together to boycott any specific entity. So, it actually seems like maybe it's not in their contract. It's just kind of by word of mouth. Oh, if you go with another ticket provider, then we're basically never going to work with you again, venue. And they want to work with them because that's where they make their money. Everybody knows Ticketmaster, right? Even if you don't, maybe not everybody, but most of the time, even if you don't go to concerts, you know Ticketmaster. Market division scheme. The Ticketmaster has engaged in a market division scheme by which it has divided customers into certain regions with its competitors. This is a violation of California antitrust law. Ticketmaster has monopoly power, but it still has smaller competitors. It has specifically carved out smaller territories to give competitors like SeatGeek in an attempt to hide a level of monopolistic power and control Ticketmaster has. In exchange for giving SeatGeek territory, Ticketmaster has made SeatGeek set price tickets at the same high price as Ticketmaster. This allows these competitors to set high prices and not actually compete with each other. I wonder if SeatGeek is going to get brought into this. You can't just throw people's name out there like that. Violation of California UCL Uniform Contract Law, I want to say. Ticketmaster has used additional unfair practices to make difficult for ticket holders to sell their tickets on competitive secondary ticket exchange. Ticketmaster has done. Come on, computer. This by leveraging its position as a dominant provider of primary ticket platforms. As found by the Department of Justice, I can't read no more. We're running out of steam. As found by the Department of Justice, Ticketmaster has historically dominated primary ticket platform services. It has maintained its dominance in the business by entering into numerous multi-year exclusive contracts with leagues, teams, and venues. Indeed, Ticketmaster's market power in the primary ticket platform services is evidenced by the high fees that it has charged and continues to charge with primary ticket platform service, fees that are substantially higher than the fees charged by other ticket platforms. Okay, let's see what else they got going on here. I think that was the last one. So they go ahead and pray for leave. We already know they're asking for money to pay for their injustices of what has happened to them. What do you guys think about the case? Do you think it's something that should go to trial? Do you think it's something that Ticketmaster is just going to settle to in order to sweep it under the rug so that they can keep doing it? Or is this something that you think it needs to go to trial so that it can be improved? I think it's something that should go to trial so that it can be improved. I'll check out the comments and see what you guys got to say about it. I completely forgot to say, if you haven't already, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button to help me out in the algorithm. You know, I have been missing in action. So go ahead and help out the channel go ahead. Let's see. I got these little things that I never use. So let's go ahead and put a ticker on there while I go ahead and go through some of the comments. So let's scroll up a little bit so I can get some other comments and go through the chat. Matt Bond says these big shows, the venues pick the artists. Oh, okay. The artist doesn't pick the venue? Deacon Fatal says the venue should be included in my honest opinion into the lawsuit. I think that they should be because it does sound like they are some of the venues are contracting with Ticketmaster, allegedly, as in this complaint. And then I think some of them are just kind of like, well, I don't want to be outcast by Ticketmaster and not get a deal with them if I use these other Ticketmasters. So let me always go to them and say, hey, we have a concert coming up. Do you guys want to do the tickets for it? So I can see it going both ways. It seems like they have contracts with some people, and then they have people wanting to make sure they don't get ousted by not using Ticketmaster. That's what I think. But I don't know. I don't know any of this. This is just my opinion. House Hippo says, I'm curious if the venue have a choice if they are stuck with Ticketmaster if they want the big artist. I think that's what the debate is. I think some of them do have contracts, and then I think some of them are just like not wanting to be shunned by not going with Ticketmaster. Going with a smaller ticket brand, or maybe even afraid that if they go with a smaller ticket company, they don't have the capacity to support the ticket sales that are coming forward. Like Ticketmaster, as we see their site crash. If you go with a smaller ticket company, is their site going to crash? So these are all considerations that I think the venues have to take. They may not have like as much intentional liability, maybe some of the venues, but I don't think all of the venues would be liable here. Okay, Matt Bond says, I've worked in the industry since high school. Yeah, you give us a lot of good information. J. Michael R.N. says, Live Nation was also promoter to get these artists. They had to go through Live Nation. Yeah. Live Nation is always in some mess. Deacon Fiddle says, okay, they are opening up doors. Yes. Elizabeth says the only issue for the venues is since Live Nation merger, they really aren't accepting competitors for Ticketmaster. Or wait, sorry. There really isn't a competitor for Ticketmaster. Yes. And as you can see in the complaint, they're basically saying there's no real competitor, but they'll give these other ticket companies a chance to kind of be their friend. I would say be their friend. And say, hey, come sit next to us. We'll help you out. And their competition so that they don't get in trouble for a monopoly, but is it really a scheme to keep those ticket prices high and both parties benefit off of the sale? Matt Bond says, yep, Live Nation are the biggest promoters in the world. Deacon Fatal says, why is that is in the fine print? I don't know exactly what you're referring to there. J. Michael Rn says, you keep focusing on the ticket function, not entirety of Live Nation. The entirety of Live Nation is a mess. We're focusing on the ticket part of it because that's who's being sold is the Ticketmaster. If there's something regarding Live Nation that you wanted to talk about, please let us know. Please let us know. We're just focusing on what the complaint is saying, though. Amber Lowe says, but shouldn't the promoters and managers be held accountable as they are the ones behind the contracts for the artists as well? Yes, I would agree with that. I think one of the excuses that the plaintiffs gave in this earlier is that there are only so many large venues. And so if you're having somebody like Taylor Swift, Beyonce, all the other great big artists, right? You're not going to book a venue with only 10,000 seats. You're going to book, or is that a lot? Look at me not going to concerts. You're not going to book a venue with 1,000 seats when there are venues with 20,000 seats, you know? So the managers are limited to which venues they can actually go to. And if those venues already have contracts with Live Nation, you can't, not Live Nation, with Ticketmaster, which is, I guess, Live Nation too, then you can't really blame them. Now, if they are also in cahoots with Live Nation, like they're promoters for Live Nation, and they take like a medium-sized artist and they say, oh, you need this venue because you're going so big. You need this large 20,000 seat venue. Let's go to this venue. Then yes, hold them liable. But these big artists like I said, Beyonce, Taylor Swift, Jay-Z, Kanye West, if people still go to his concerts, all of these large artists, they really don't have a choice but to go to those bigger venues. And that's one of the that's what the Taylor Swift fans are trying to say as to why Taylor Swift shouldn't necessarily be liable, but the venue, or not the venue, but the ticket sales should be liable. I'm saying the venue should also be liable because they're the ones that's in the contract with them, or they're the ones that's wanting to make sure they continue to get business from them. Okay. J. Michael R. N says Live Nation is the promoter. Live Nation, yeah. So Live Nation is the promoter, and I think they own, or they merged with Ticketmaster too. So we're not focusing on them in relation to them being a promoter. We're focusing on them of the relation of being Ticketmaster. So let me bring it back up. Live Nation Entertainment Incorporated, which is what you're talking about, them being the promoter, DBA Ticketmaster LLC. This means that they are Live Nation doing business as Ticketmaster. That's why we are focused on the Ticketmaster side of it, because Live Nation is Ticketmaster in this case. So that's why I haven't necessarily been saying Live Nation, because they're using their entity Ticketmaster for these reasons. For this case. Deacon Fatal says, I do have to get some sleep. It was great to see you all. I have a case I need to work on. Happy holidays and take care. Ticketmaster are being jerks. All right. Thank you for joining us, Deacon Fatal. It's always nice to have you here. I hope you get some rest tonight. Matt Bond says, I think although they joined Ticketmaster and Live Nation are registered as separate businesses for this very reason. They're registered. This one, they're registered as Live Nation. They're just doing business as. Doing business as is just a fictitious business name. So they're actually really just Live Nation Entertainment. And Live Nation Entertainment. Now, they may have a couple of things intertwined and things like that. And even calling themselves Ticketmaster LLC, I'm wondering if they even actually have an LLC or if they're just doing it under a fictitious business name. I think it's kind of weird to have an LLC and a fictitious business name all in one. Okay, let's see. Ticket, or Kelly C. Look, I'm obsessed with tickets now. Kelly C says it should go to trial, but I don't think it will. I hope it doesn't get swept under the rug though, because you don't really pay attention to these things until they come to light like this. And this one has really come to light. I think they should stick with it. Matt Bond says, I think it should go to trial as they are forced to fix it publicly, but it's a work in progress, so they will probably settle. Yeah, the people probably, and remember, these are just kind of like regular people. They probably just want their money back, or they want the ticket to the Taylor Swift concert. They're not looking for millions and thousands, and they'll be able to settle this for sure. But should it settle? I want it to go to trial because I want to be nosy and discovery. But they're probably going to offer a pretty good amount so that they don't have to do discovery because it's going to expose them. Nikki Kayla says, OMG, hey Bri, welcome back. I hope your project went well. Yes, it's going well. We are doing good. I'm happy to be back and happy to see you here live. Thank you for joining us. Jay Michael says they all play together. You can only get big artists by going through their promoter, who is Live Nation, which requires Live Nation / Ticketmaster, and then restrict things at those venues. Yes, exactly. The two functions are intrinsically connected. Yes, that is true. We're not saying that they're not, but we're just talking about the Ticketmaster part of it. And there's really, I get that you're saying that Live Nation is the promoter, but yeah, I guess because they can promote to the venues to contract with them, and then it's just a big loop. It's just a big loop. Let's leave it at that. It's a big loop. I agree. I'm not disagreeing with you at all. It's a big loop, but we're just focusing on Ticketmaster because that is what the complaint was. All right, guys, if you're not subscribed, go ahead and make sure you subscribe to the channel. We will be more consistent over here. We will be jumping into some different cases. I didn't see any too many exciting things coming out this week, and maybe it's because I'm not looking hard enough. But we do like to try to stay in that celebrity, trademark, kind of fun type of cases. We don't like to do the criminal things because it can get pretty sad. So thank you guys for joining me live. I'm so happy to be back, and I'm so happy that you guys joined me here. And you should be seeing me next Tuesday, and I will catch you on the next live stream.